The most complicated boundaries you will ever have to set are the ones with your family. In today's video, I will share 5 lessons regarding setting boundaries with a disrespectful family member. Welcome to A Life Nevermore, a public diary for private pain. Here is the story. One of my relatives came to visit my childhood home some time ago. I had arrived the night before, and although it was a little after midday, I was still in my pajamas. After exchanging greetings, I returned to my room, shut the door, and turned the lock behind me. Waiting for him to leave before showering, I lay face down on the bed and heard my relative calling my name. I answered and told him I was busy, and since I knew the door was locked, I didn't even adjust my posture. In mere seconds, I heard the door lock turning, and in came my relative to the room filled with bags and my other belongings. And even worse, me lying face down in my pajamas on the bed. I didn't realize the key was in the door, and to my shock, I couldn't even move. Instead of leaving the room, the man, over 50 years old, sat on the chair and started handling my equipment on the desk. "Come and show me how to operate these," he called. And still horrified, I managed to tell him I was waiting to shower and cook dinner. He got the message at the sound of my voice, and shortly after, he left the room. I was hopping mad, and when he left, I told my family member about it. She agreed it was wrong and confirmed that that was his practice, but she insisted that he didn't know any better. It was time for him to know better, I thought to myself. A few days later, I was in the kitchen when the same relative barged in, greeted me, and went straight into the refrigerator. It was as if it was business for him, but not for me, so I spoke to him about what had happened the last time we saw each other. Before I was through with my first sentence, he started raising his voice to defend his actions, acting as if he was the victim and insinuating that he was being treated as a stranger. Despite what he said, I held firm and told him clearly that as long as I occupied the room, he should not enter unless permitted by me. Grasping at straws, he said I should have told him at the same time, and it was as if I had him in my heart from then until now, and he would never come back to the house. Although I received no apology, I am still happy I stood up for myself and established a boundary with my relatives. So much so that his anger has abated. He has returned to the house several times since then, and is now behind us. Before I share the 5 lessons, remember to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful videos. Here are 5 lessons that can be unearthed from this experience. 1. When I spoke with another household member, I was told it had been his practice for years. He has never been satisfied with just staying in the living room, dining room, kitchen, and porches. His style is to barge into their bedrooms without even knocking and open pots, plates, and refrigerators as he pleases. Despite people knowing they are wrong, because they are comfortable doing it, they will continue until you stop them. Even if they don't know anything better, you have to educate them, and the earlier you do so, the better it will be for all involved. 2. Boundaries should be within your jurisdiction. When I spoke with my relative, one of the excuses he was concocting was that I spoke with him because he came in through the back door. I told him directly that the back door and the other areas of the house were not my business. My main concern was the bedroom where I stayed. If the people in the situation can speak up for themselves, let them do so. They may prefer to continue languishing in distress, rather than hurt others' feelings. That's their boundary. And that's okay, too. Never overstep yours. 3. In general, locked doors should be knocked, and entrance made only upon authorization. It was previously agreed that you could enter a locked door without knocking if it was your room. However, unless there is an emergency, locked doors should generally be knocked on, and permission to enter should be granted. 4. Sometimes it is better to wait until the time is right to explain the boundaries you have established. You may have agreed with my relative that I should have said something from the moment it happened, but sometimes it is best to count to 10 before responding. If I had said something the day it happened, I might have been the one who should be seeking to apologize. Knowing my relative, he would be embarrassed, and I know that the situation would have escalated, given how angry I was. 5. Don't take people's boundaries personally. Respecting people means respecting their boundaries, and if you genuinely respect someone as you should, you would respect his or her boundaries, whether or not you understand it. People create boundaries for different reasons, many of which have nothing to do with you. Family or friend relationships would have fewer issues if more boundaries were established, communicated, and respected. What boundary do you need to set with your family members? Please share in the comments below and remember to subscribe. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video. In the meantime, check out the video in which I shared 8 ways to stop gossiping and oversharing.